Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring your boy, Roanoa Zoro. Get ready for a very, very spicy deck profile featuring OP10 here on the channel, let alone a leader in which has come back in the metagame. And he's here to stay, at least until we get new stuff coming in OP12. With that being said, aggro is back, everyone hates it, it be what it be. Zoro, very scary deck to deal with. Unfortunately, everybody and their brother is playing around with a zoo form of Zoro. Nothing wrong with it, you know, but we've seen it time and time again. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to play another Zoro list that isn't zoo, something I've been cooking up and playing around with as of late. But for those of you out there interested in the zoo variant of Zoro, this is my current zoo Zoro list. It does well, of course. There's many different variants to it. You can change certain cards in here. You have a little bit of wiggle room for like Dragon and Killer and your Gum Gum Mold Gun. Everything else is kind of like a staple, give or take. But this would be my zoo variant when it comes to Zoro. For what we are going to be playing with today, I have very many different variants of Zoro. I've been cooking up different builds, playing against different decks, trying to prepare for different regional events that are coming up here this month. And currently, this is what we've been playing around with. Now, this list is very explosive, it's very aggressive. For those of you out there who have been playing Zoro back in the day, you guys remember the good old buggy package. You guys remember the good old Kid and Killer. Now we have access to a brand new 5-cost unit being a Rush Luffy. Kind of similar to the OG Rush Luffy, except for this one, you know, has unblockable when you attach 2 Dawn to it. This one, on the other hand, when this card swings, you automatically give Arrested Dawn to one of your characters or leader. So, in other words, this 6k becomes a 7k because when you attach it to Zoro, Zoro also gives every one of your other characters on board extra 1,000 power. So you spend 5 Dawn, you swing 7, which is awesome. If you have another one, you can slap this down, you swing another 7. If you have Sanji on board prior to this turn, this is a 7, that's a 7, this is a 7. It's great. This card automatically forces your opponent to give 2 cards from hand, a 0-cost event and something else, or 2 2Ks, which is fantastic, honestly. Now, we also have to adapt to the meta, which means you guys are going to be playing against a lot of green decks, and unfortunately, these green decks are going to be utilizing Eustace Kid and Rosinante, Tashigi, you know, etc., etc. The stuff that we've seen before. With that being said, we've also gained access to a new 4-cost event that deals with those problems. I.e., you drop this on Eustace Kid, he goes from an 8k power to a 3k power. Then you can pop Rosinante on board due to the fact that he's a 2,000 power unit. So you remove him from the equation, and then you attack into Eustace Kid with everything you have on board. This card is very, very strong into the green matchup because it also allows us to deal with Cavendish when it comes to Jewelry Bonnie. It allows us to deal with the 5-cost Smoker as well. This is a very, very strong card for a red event. But, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this deck list, see what we got cooking up here, and we'll play a bunch of games as we typically do on the channel. I decided to keep it low to the ground. As you see, we aren't using like Dragon or Goldie Roger, any like super top end heavy cards. Of course you can fit them in here, it's very flexible, but I decided to keep it low to the ground and rely on things like my Luffy's here, being as aggressive as possible, and of course having Diable Jambe from when we need it, or playing against decks like Blackbeard or any other deck that utilizes a lot of blockers. Being able to keep it low to the ground means I can slap down a lot of bodies in the early game and get a lot of attacks off. This is Zoro. This is really how the deck works, if you will. We have Kid and Killer as well. Now, Kid and Killer, again, flex pick, can be taken out of here if you want to use Dragon. I decided to go Kid and Killer specifically for the reason that you guys will be playing against Blackbeard occasionally. Blackbeard on play typically doesn't work, so you play down Dragon, he just has Rush for 9. If you have 1 Dawn attached to Zoro, which you should, this swings for 10. At most, right? Or 11 if you give it all the power, you know, all the Dawn. Now, Kid and Killer, on the other hand, when your opponent's at 2 life or less, this character gains an extra additional 2,000 power when he attacks. So base, he's a 7k swing. With 1 Dawn on Zoro, he swings for 8. If I attach 1 Dawn to this, he swings for 9. And he's a 4 cost. So technically speaking, you can get out more power with Kid and Killer than I can with Dragon in the early game, which is kind of ideal. Because we have other options here, such as Brook and Nami, to ramp up our other characters that we can play on board, like Zoro and Luffy, and of course, Buggy. Being able to slap down a Brook on board, give 2 Rested Dawn to another character, or Nami for instance. This automatically gives Rested Dawn to other characters on board that are Straw Hat units, so your Zoro can swing for 7 plus 8 with 1 attached to this Zoro, which is kind of nice. So you also can give Dawn to your leader, which is really, really good. The downside to this is, it's very, very weak, so it can be popped against decks such as like Shanks and all that sort of thing. But other than that, green aren't really going to be able to remove this unless Bonnie rests it and then attacks into it, and then it kind of becomes like a pseudo blocker for you, which is amazing. I think she's been doing a lot of work for me, so I decided to, use this card in this particular deck list. I have tried to combo her out with the other Zoro, which is nice, just because if I can slap this down in the early game, if we are forced to go first or second, what have you, if you curve into the Zoro, you have this on board, you can slap this down, activate the ability to give 2 Rested Dawn to this. This will swing for 8k because 1 Dawn on your leader, which is really, really nice. When they pop this, you go into a Luffy or you go into a Sanji from your hand, which is really good. But this is another flex pick that can be utilized in this deck list without problems. The events here are going to be straightforward. We're going to be running with 2 0-cost events, guard point. This isn't necessarily to protect my face, it's more so to protect my things on board, which generally I don't really mind if you're attacking life or against my Zoro, because I like getting cards, right? Being able to hit life and get a rush unit out of there and then going for face is just ideal. My board, on the other hand, I kind of want to protect that as much as I possibly can when I can, just because more attacks is much better than no attacks, let's be honest. Guard point, I like to have 2. Of course, you can sub this out for Radical Beam, but again, most of the time, 9 out of 10 players are going to be attacking your board instead of attacking your face as Zoro, so just having that guard point for the extra 3,000 power is very, very nice. 2 Diable Jambes, of course. Blackbeard's running around. Other decks with blockers like Jewelry Bonnie, Smoker, Eustace Kid. This is very, very useful in that regard. And of course, we're going to be running with 4 Mulguns. Nothing really needs to be said about this. I decided to tech in 1 Nico Robin, by the way. This is a situational card. Kind of niche, but kind of not. In the green matchup, this is very good at removing Rosinante. Into the yellow matchup, you can pop Shirahoshi blocker early, and you can get rid of Viola, which is really strong. Outside of that, she doesn't really have much of a use, besides just removing Rosinante. That's really it, honestly. But other than that, we're going to dive into a bunch of games today. I do hope you guys are going to be ready for it. Let's get at it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into a bunch of games today. Coming at you guys with Zoro, playing into Yellow-Green Law. And this time I am recording. Last time I forgot to press the recording button, so that kind of sucks. Either way, I'm going to try my very best today. My allergies are definitely kicking my butt. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm hoping that we can get through this. With that being said, we have regionals coming up here very, very soon. So for those of you out there that are going to regionals this weekend, and or online regional events, good luck, best of luck to you. It's going to be very competitive, especially with this new ban list that came out, so things are going to be shifting, things are going to be changing, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and dive into these matchups today, playing around with Zoro into Law, and see what we can cook up. I don't know why he decided to drop a poo to kill the Nami, but you know what? I'm here for it. Less 2Ks out of your hand, so we're going to go 6 here. I don't want to play Zoro just yet. I know that's a little weird, but being able to get down the Sanji and then into the Monkey D. Luffy, the 5-drop, can kind of be ideal. Or he could potentially have Cavendish. Yep, okay. Now we can just drop our Mulgun and pop this for free. Because I think If we'd done this the other way and played Zoro down, he would just go 7 into the Zoro while leaving Cavendish on board. And we don't have the counter for it, so this works out. Yep. Okay, so we're at 6. I really want to play the 5-cost Luffy, but we need to remove this as soon as possible. So, it be what it be. Now we can go 7 and 7. Right? Yeah, 7 and 7 here. I don't think it matters if we attack with leader first, because Law doesn't typically use triggers that pop characters on board. At least this variant doesn't. There we go. This should get 2k counters out of him. Never mind. Very, very aggressive. There's the Law. Sure. What can I... Actually, you know what? We need this on board. As much as I don't want to, but we do need this on board. I'll give him the Makino here. Now he's in trouble. Because we're at 8. We drop the Luffy. We do the thing that makes us go 7k to face. And then we have 3 Don left for Zoro if need be. Or... the 3 Don kinda is like... it's a telltale, right? Maybe we drop the Brook instead. To go ahead and give us more power. There we go. Let's go 8 and 8. Maybe put him on 0. I doubt it. Just let it happen. You don't need it. Yep. Okay, I'll take that. There's a Bonnie. So he has a blocker for this turn. Another Cavendish hits the board. 5 Don left. So that's enough for Bonnie and then 1 Don under leader here. Yep. You got it. You got it. I'll take that. What could it be? Ooh, alright. That's really spicy. There's a lot of lists out there with Law that are pretty flexible. And I think every single one that I've seen with the 5-cost Law is very interesting because it allows him to do a lot more plays than he typically would do without that card in the deck list. Which is kind of cool to see. I guess we'll take Mulgun here. We have to get one of these characters up to 6,000 power. Or we can drop Zoro, actually. Because if we play Zoro... yeah, this will work. Because if we drop the Zoro on board, we have enough left over for Mulgun. So let's go that route instead. I know it's a little weird, but I think this is probably the correct way to do this. Because going 5 with the Brook, he could potentially just block with the Bonnie instead, right? This way, this is guaranteed, and then we get 3 attacks in. Because now Brook can go 5. It's 1 2k. We go 6. Nice. Okay. Unfortunate. Yeah, that's fine. I really like that card. I don't know why a lot more people don't run it. I think it's very, very good. Being able to get 3,000 power for 1 Dawn and then restand a 5-cost character, that's amazing. That's really good. Okay, so Kid hits the board. That's kind of feels bad. I mean, I think we have to guard here because he will be running his Law into one of the other ones. At the very least. Yep. Ooh, maybe that wasn't the right play. Because he's going to clear it anyway, isn't he? Yeah, that's fair. That's my bad. 4 Dawn. Sure. Bonnie blocker. Okay. Oh, I guess right. He doesn't need the blocker. He has the kid on the board. That's awkward. There's another room. Yep. Okay. I guess we'll just go heavy to face here. We could go 14 to kid, and then drop the Magra on board, boost the buggy, and swing for 7. Actually, no, we can't do that. We can go 14 here, yes, but we can't swing with buggy this turn, because then he just kills it on the clapback. He would be protected from the Law and the Cavendish, just because they're slash attribute characters. But at the same time, he has the room in hand, and that gives him the 8,000 power versus my 7. So ideally, it's probably better for us to wait. So if he has Hody Jones, he could get in 3 attacks this turn. Or sorry, 4 hits this turn. I imagine he'd rest the Dawn and the buggy, so we couldn't use any guard points if we got them off life. Okay. Still potential for Hody. I think that would be the incorrect play, though, right? He needs blockers here, probably, to stay alive. Even though he probably knows we have Diable Jambe. So maybe a Law comes down that heals him? Perhaps? And then he has another way to deal with the buggy here. Because that's 1 room in trash, and he has 1 more in hand. There's the Law. Okay. Yep. What did he put in life here? Sure. Nice. We're looking good, boys. We're looking good. Counter here. Then we'll take the 9k swing to face. Okay. Or the 10k swing to face. No problem. 2 Dawn open. 1 room up. Double Brook in hand. Yeah, that buggy could be huge right now, actually. Yeah, let's go about this. We'll do 2-2, and then we have the Magra for the buggy as well. This might be a weird play. Because we know he has the 1 room in hand, right? So we need to be able to have Zoro as well on board. Swinging in at 7k. Or I don't think there's another way to do it. So I think next turn we lose. So we go 8. He either takes the hit or he does room and a 1k counter. Yep. Give me a 2. Okay, so that's the Law that he had from life previously. This is a tough choice. Because if we swing and he has another room, we just lose. If we Magra, then Zoro will swing for 6. Maybe we go 7 and 7. Let's play Zoro down. Okay. Let's hope this works. I think we should make it go 7, though. Yeah, let's go 7. Okay. Does he have it? Nice. Let's go. You know, with the inclusion of the 8-cost kid, the yellow one, and the new 4-cost electromagnetic cannon, I have been seeing a lot more Katakuris. Not necessarily on the local scene, I'll be fair. But on Sim here, I have. I feel like Katakuri, he's in an okay spot, right? You'd argue. I wouldn't say like very meta competitive. He is like a rogue deck, I would argue, you know. But I also feel like we can have a very, very good matchup into yellow overall as aggro right now in the format, which is really, really good. I think some of the matchups, like going into, of course, the rogue decks when it comes to NL, if people are start running that, could be a problem, ideally. And then you have Nico Robin, if they're able to survive and drop Yamatos, you know, that could be rough. And they also have Gum Gum Giant, so outside of Enel, I don't really think there's a lot of very powerful yellow decks that are running around outside of Eustace Kid, realistically. And I think Kid probably does it better with the 8 cost and the electromagnetic cannon than any other deck that we've seen in the current metagame. So Katakuri kind of feels a little lackluster right now. And that's my bad. I forgot about we already had one Rested Dawn, but we got more bodies on board here, which is okay. I think he would probably attack into the Sanji just to remove it, just because Sanji is naturally pretty good, at least into this matchup here. Being able to swing 8k and force cards from their hand is not something they want to deal with. That's fine, you got it. Alright boys, here we go. We dropped a Luffy. This probably will be a quick game. We go 7 lead, and we force some more cards out of hands. We have the Magura or the Makino to play down to boost the Nami. Unfortunately, Brook's not going to be able to attack here, which is okay. Because he'll probably clear Luffy next turn, or at least attempt to. And at least we'll have another body on board, with Luffy or Zoro coming down as well. Okay, sure. Yeah. I guess this will work, right? Because we actually have to attack first with the Nami before we attack with the Zoro here. In case he gets a trigger and he pops it or something. I doubt he'd pop the Nami, but you never know. Cool, we get a 2k. Let's go 6 to face. I don't really care about the Peril Sparrows being on board at all in this situation. We're trying to get this man down to 0 life as quickly as possible. So we got a blocker Katakuri. We have a buggy in hand, which potentially could get us the Mulgun. So that's not really an issue. 7 into Luffy. Why wouldn't you just go 8? Unless he's planning on playing another pudding here. I mean, we have to counter for this anyway. We'll give you the Otama. And then we have 3k counter, which should be fine. Because 1 Peril Sparrow will go to face, right? Or will it clear the Nami? It probably will clear the Nami, honestly. So we can do this instead. Yeah, I thought so. And then he'll go pudding. Never mind. Interesting. We'll give you the Robin. I almost said Makino. Alright, Buggy. Don't let us down. Good job. You'd love to see it. I guess, I mean, we can put Zoro down on board, which is fine. Let's go 7 first. I know this is weird, but this will force a block here. Never mind. We'll just pop this for free. That's cool. Brook cannot swing right now. We'd have a lot of attackers if we didn't have to deal with the blocker that turn. Nice. And I should have swung there with Zoro first, and then our leader. That's my bad. Just in case he pulled something off of life to pop one of my characters. He's on, what, 9 Dawn this turn, I believe? So all I really need to do is protect Luffy. I mean, this will work out. Because he does have the blocker Katakuri in hand, right? We got another buggy, so that's another potential Mulgun. What do you do here? Play Katakuri down. Gets a blocker on board, then a Brûlée maybe? Because that's... I think Katakuri is a 5 cost, right? So that's 2 block... Oh, okay. Never mind. Sure. Interesting. I think I would have put the Pawseplay's on top there, just in case that card's a 0 cost event. Arguably, he probably knows what it is, but still, if he remembers. He's going to take this one, isn't he? Yep. Cool. Oh, so we did have a Nami. Alright, I see you. Well played. I mean, we can still poke pretty hard here. Because this would be 7. He took the previous hit. Okay. Yep. I imagine a 0 cost event in hand as well. That's the Katakuri from earlier. Let's just go face with Buggy here. Nice. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again, coming at you guys with Zoro, playing into Nico Robin here. I kind of felt bad for that Katakuri a little bit, just a little bit. We had so much pressure on the board, he couldn't stabilize and go for board while dropping big bombs. You know? And I think it's moments like that where you have to contemplate on establishing board or removing bodies. And he chose to just keep slapping down Sparrows instead of just trying to remove bodies on board, which is interesting. But, you know, each their own. It happens. It happens. Well, that was a lot of big bombs he had in hand, too, so too many bricks in the other game. And I believe, if I remember, he kept that hand instead of mulliganing. I could be wrong, but I have to go back and rewatch. But we'll dive into this matchup here and see what we can do. Robin is... she's interesting. And I think a lot of people will probably be on Robin as well at the regionals, just because aggro is in right now, and Robin does a very good job at playing aggro, especially into the current metagame. She's kind of terrifying if you don't draw the right pieces, so I have seen some lists. Speaking of which, I am also working on a list with Basil Hawkins and the Kaido Linlin that allows you to, you know, pop multiple life in a turn, which is kind of cool. I posted some stuff on the Discord when it came to me utilizing those cards in Pudding, and I think Robin can do it as well, so I do have a list I'm working on with Robin coming up here soon. It'll probably be a little bit after the regionals, but we'll get into that as well. Ooh, Kid and Killer, unfortunate. Okay, so we get a Sanji. Of course, we're going to drop Luffy here. I think that's probably our best play. Well, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is cool. We can do that. 2 cards in hand. This should be guaranteed. I would imagine this would be guaranteed. Come on. Don't kill it. Don't kill it. Okay, just a Hawkins. Not really a big deal. And we throw away... so that's 1 trigger, that's 2 triggers. Alright. Can we get another one in? There's no way. Because then she also has to deal with another 7k swing. And we're only on turn 3. This is crazy sometimes. I was going to say, surely you don't go down to 1 already. What does this do? Okay. Huh. Professor Clover, huh? I've seen the card in some variants of Robin, but not necessarily... I feel like it's more of a niche, you know what I mean? Throws away Olivia, though. That must feel bad. There's a Pudding. We're on 9 Dawn as well, so we're looking for... they got nothing. Okay. Love to see it. I don't know why the sim sometimes doesn't let me type. I feel like maybe it's been open too long and that it bugs out on me and I have to close it. I'm not sure. But I guess we won't be playing round 2 here. What do we grab with this? Okay. A blocker. And I think that was it, which is nice. So out of the top 5 there, they got 1 blocker. They probably got all the cards they needed in that search, but they couldn't grab them. Whereas the ones they needed, they couldn't get with pudding. 8 lead as well. Interesting. Sure. 1 in hands. We should be able to end game here. Depending on what they get off of life here. We'll boost the Nami up real quick. We have to remove the blocker on board. So we'll pop that. 3 Dawn open. We'll go 7. Give us the rested. Yep. I think we can go 6 here, right? Realistically. Okay. Then we'll go 7 here. Well, I guess I should have swung 6 with leader, actually. That's my bad. Oh well. It's fine. Unless they get a veggie. Okay. Clover. Sure. Get another 2k counter. So this will eat the 2k up. Yep. And then GG. Well played. I don't know about you guys, but Sugar is a very stressful matchup. It's very easy for her to deal with the amount of bodies that we generally put on board. Being she can activate Hell's Judgment and the other brand new 2-cost event, the red one. I don't know what the name is, I always forget about it. But it's the one with the slimes and stuff on it. Gives her like 3,000 power, and then she minuses the character that's swinging or what have you. It's a very good deck into aggro, I think. Let's go 6 lead first. We'll get Sanji on board for now just to have double bodies for the following turn. Zoro can... Or not, sorry. Sanji can swing in for 8k. And potentially we get down Luffy on board, which would be nice. What are we doing here? Okay. 0-cost event. I love to see it. What else was that? Okay. Ulti Mortar? Huh. I don't see that one that often. I like this card. It's pretty good here in Sugar. I almost said pudding. Sanji. Okay. Yep. We have that for later. Alright, let's do the thing. We'll swing 7 here. What do you do? This is where she Hell's Judgments and then hits my Nami and my Sanji in the turn. Or sorry, Sanji and Zoro this turn. Thunder Bagua. Okay. I like it. You gotta take a couple of these hits. You need cards. Because Sanji gets to swing for 8 here if we activate his ability. Which is probably better to do. So. We got a buggy off that as well. His ability is really good, but it is a little greedy. But I do think in a lot of matchups you can kind of get away with it, because he acts as a pseudo blocker most of the time, which is kind of nice. If they let him stay here, it's another 8k swing potentially. 9 if you attach one more extra Dawn. Yep. They'll go for that, and they'll probably go in on the Luffy here. I imagine they Dawn up Sanji. Okay, never mind. That's crazy. Does she have Doflamingo? No, Rayleigh. You know, I love it, but I also hate it at the same time. It's very good. There goes our board. But we just rebuild it. That's fine. If only we had an Otama here. Well, actually, we don't have enough Dawn for it. We need an Otama and then a Mulligan to remove the Rayleigh. So I guess we're going to have to be a little aggressive. We'll give this to the Nami here. Oh. That's right. That's my bad. Mistakes happen. I didn't notice they already Rayleigh'd the Nami. And again, chat's not working. But I didn't realize they already Rayleigh'd the Nami. That's my fault. That really sucks, though. Man, that's awkward. We'll go 6 here. Yeah, you can have a card. That's fine. Go 6 lead. Dang, man. That feels real bad, actually. So we could have done, what, 5? No, sorry, we could have done 6, 6, and 7 this turn. Or 6, 6, and 6, because I think we want to keep up the Dawn here for guard point. What else are we doing here? Okay. Wow. Okay. That was crazy. They gave us a 0 cost event with Divine Departure. So, we'll take those. Yep. There's not a real point of guarding here, actually. So perhaps we should have swung 7 with Zoro instead of keeping the Dawn up. She's just going to kill this with Rayleigh anyway. At least Nami and Brooke can get a swing in next turn. Okay, Senior Pink. I think that card is super underrated, by the way. Especially in purple decks. I think it's pretty strong. Being able to play Senior Pink down and grab back like Gum Gum Giant is kind of nutty. I'll be fair. He can't do it, of course, in Sugar, but in Luffy he could. So, there's a little idea there for you. Gum Gum Mulgun's not going to help us here. I think we just have to be super aggressive at this moment in time. She's got 4 Dawn, 2 cards up. We know she has a Bagua in hand. So I think we'll just try to get that first. And I think next turn she could potentially kill us. Maybe. Let's go 7 first. This will guarantee the Bagua, I'd imagine. So that was Dofi's ability. Red Hawk. Okay. Alright. So she had Bagua and Red Hawk in hand. I told you this matchup is scary. She might actually win this one, to be honest. We go 5. This is a guaranteed hit, because she has the Bagua in hand. Okay, never mind. She decides to use it. That's fair. Actually, what am I doing? We don't have to attach Dawn here. We can just go 6k to face. What am I talking about? Leave up the other Dawn for guard point, and maybe we find another guard point off life. Might be asking for too much, but you never know. Okay. No, I'll guard this, actually. 3 other attacks. Only 1 can go through here. So Senior Pink will probably swing... Never mind, he's going to swing for 7. Love to see it. No guard point. And then we can take both of these hits. Unless you're going to clear board. Love to see it. No Luffy, but we can get Zoro here. Yep, you got it. Can I get lucky off the draw? I need a Luffy. Alright, so we had a 0 cost event. 1 card in her hand here. Let's just push it. We slap down Zoro. We can do the thing. Yep. Let's go 5 to face. I think she has to counter here. Okay. Never mind. Nothing? Oh, alright. That makes her a 6k. Yep. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's math, right? We go 8, 8. And GG. Well played. Stress. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's favorite deck to play into Blackbeard. Come at you guys with another Zoro matchup. This might be a little depressing, but we're going to try our best. I've learned nothing when it comes to this matchup, to be honest. It kind of just, you go face every time. That's it. You don't hit board, you go face. You want to get them down to 0 life or 1 life as quickly as you possibly can before they get up to 10 on, and they slap down Blackbeard, and it's a rough time. The other out is you have to have Diable Jambe, I feel like, for this matchup, and I feel like most of the time if you don't have it, you're either going to lose or you're so far ahead it doesn't necessarily matter. But we'll see. Leader ability very early, which is kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess that's okay, right? But I wanted to play down Brook to give the Dawn to the Nami, and then do double hits here and have another body on board. I imagine he didn't know about the Brook, but as we're at 3 Dawn, this kind of seems like a Zoro play. So a little weird to use leader ability, but I'll take it. We got 1 damage in as well. And he did throw away a 2k counter for the first leader, so I'll take that. That means he's got, what, 7 left? Unless he's dipping somewhere else to take 2ks. I'm sorry, what was that? What happened? Liberation on Nami. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Some players are a little interesting. Go 5, we'll take it. He's got 4 cards left. You need to stop it. He's going to learn today, that's for sure. We go 7, it should be guaranteed. Because that is 3 2Ks that's already in the trash. 2 stronger and then 1 sword guy. We go 6. That's 4 2Ks. He's on 6 Dawn here. So this could be, what, a Tempest Kick into a sword guy to pop the Luffy. Have to be a little mindful of that, I guess. Okay, Kuzan into what? I'm actually just going to play Kuzan to play Kuzan. Yeah, okay. Alright. We definitely need to counter this. Oltama. See you later. They chose leader skill over stage. Alright. Guys, be nice, alright? I know the comments sometimes people are going to just judge. Leave it alone. We'll get through this together, and we'll play against another Blackbeard at some point today. Just leave it alone. Go 7 lead. Another 7 lead. Okay. And how about we put him on... No. I guess we could, right? We could put him on 0 here. Let's go another 7. We don't need to attach Dawn at all. And I mean, put them on 1. That's my fault. We'll just play Buggy to play Buggy. In case I decide to clear at least 1 Luffy on board. Because technically they could attach Dawn to Kuzan, then pop it. And get back the Vasco shot. Maybe? I don't think they'll attack face, at the very least. They would probably try to clear board here if possible. I thought so. Yep. Unfortunate for you... Wait, actually, they can get this, can't they? Yeah, they actually can get this. Because if we give them both 2k counters, they just go 8k with Blackbeard into it, so... You got it. At least we can save one here, which is nice. And then we have the mole gun to pop the Vasco shot here. Why do you keep using leader skill? Am I missing something? I can't recall the last time he's used stage. I think he's used the leader skill every single turn, which is interesting. So the 7's guaranteed, unless he blocks here. That's my bad. I forgot to play a character on board. So it was a 6 instead. But it's okay. It's fine. Another 2K. That's it, guys. Sure. What is it? Why are you stalling me? Let's go. What happened? Okay, finger gun. And GG. Alright, we did it, boys. We got there. I know we shouldn't have done it, but he wants to play one more round, which is fine. Alright, we'll get a rematch in, and we'll move on to another deck. Maybe this time, he won't be as unlucky, alright? Okay. Sure. That's really unfortunate, actually. Because now we have to go 5 here to face, and then play down either Zoro or Sanji. And I think if we play down Zoro, he's just able to clear it right away. So perhaps Sanji's the better choice here. This way, in the following turn, we can have Sanji, Zoro, and the other Zoro swing. Okay, Vasco shot. Get the search off. 10 cost teach, sure. Yep. That's fine. You're really using leader skill again? I mean, yeah, nah, because on 5 done, we're just going to drop Luffy if we had it, right? Okay, sure. And he throws away Tenbeard. Interesting. We can play the Zoro here. And start poking. We go 6. As long as he doesn't get a finger pistol, we're chilling. Okay, 2K counter. This might be greedy, actually. But go 6, 7, 7. Instead of saving the guard point here. Nice. Down to 4 life. He's at 6 Dawn. 1 Vasco shot in trash. 1 10 cost each. Things are looking pretty good. If he has Augur here, that could be probably a good play. He drops Augur on board. What? He finger gunned the Zoro. Okay. Alright. Interesting. Maybe that was his only choice, okay? He goes 7 into Sanji. Yep. I mean, you got it. I would have loved to have kept him on board, but that's fine. We'll draw a card off this. Nice. These won't really get a lot of value here in this matchup, though, which is unfortunate. Because Nami can't stay on board or any of my 1-drops right now with Doc on board. So that's unfortunate. Another guard point. Alright, Buggy. Okay, cool. We get Diable Jambe. And now we just have to go face. He's going to pop the buggy with his doctor, which is fine. We'll save 1 down up for guard point. He did take the last 7k swing as well, which is interesting. So it kind of gives me the impression he doesn't have a lot of counter in hand right now. Yep. He's on 8. Okay. Pop Sanji. I get the draw again. 0 cost event. We have a lot of counter in hands. Double guard point, 0 cost event, which is nice. There's the stage. Throws away Doctor. Okay. He's got Burgess now. 3 Don open. So either a searcher, a blocker, or he just goes 8 to face. He just goes 8 to face. No problem. If he wants to, that's fine. Because we can play down Nami here. Never mind, we can't do that. We did get Zoro though, which is nice. This gives us a way out, I think. Because he's 7k, right? Ooh, actually, we can't pop him because he's 7k. That's awkward. We need the Otama here. Oh, wait. Yeah, we can. Math. That's my fault. Because it minuses by 5. What am I talking about? Nice. Okay, 1 life. 10 cost each. Kuzan. Okay. So my question, why wouldn't he activate stage to play stage first to search out for a 10 cost each here? And then run 5 into the Zoro? I don't think I'm wrong in that. I think that would be the correct play. Because he goes 8, we have the guard point here. He has 2 Dawn open. I assume that's going to be for a Vasco shot blocker or a searcher to hit the board. Okay. Remember, it's top 5. So I doubt he'll reply to me. I am so confused right now. Okay. He still didn't use stage. We'll do the thing. We'll go 7 lead. Yep. Okay. 2 cards left. So potentially we could just go 8 and 8. We can go not. No. Yeah, this will work. We have to attack with Zoro first, just in case there's a pistol off life. Did we get there? Alright, so he had teach this whole time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, come at you guys with another matchup with Zoro into Nico Robin here. Again, Blackbeard, previous matchup. Actually, no, I lied. We played a smoker after the Blackbeard. The matchup was like 1:45, give or take. He bricked very hard, and we killed him by turn 3, if I recall, give or take. Well, he surrendered at that point, but it was awesome. Anyway, we're going into this matchup now, and I know some people aren't super nice. I get it. Blackbeard player was bad, etc., etc., didn't know what he was doing, yada, yada. Keep it friendly, alright? That's all I'm asking. I know that's probably too much to ask, but each their own. Either way, we'll go ahead and dive into this matchup here and see if we can cook up. Drake, though. That was an interesting play. Just to play Drake on board to pop that. I didn't see that coming realistically, but that's fine. That's 2k you don't have access to. So we're gonna go 8k to face. Just pressure. And then next turn we potentially can drop Luffy down, go 7, and then go 8 with lead. Sure. No problem. That actually was a really good card there, too. Because we could have stopped the another attack. But that's fine. Okay. Yep. Drop Luffy first. Go 7. And I don't know why I said 8. Math is hard, so we was 7-7 this turn. 2K and Hawkins. 7 again. Let's go, boys. Okay, so X-Drake is kind of irrelevant at this point. He's not really doing a whole lot. They have to clear Luffy off board more than anything else, which is nice. We have a 0-cost event in hand, and we have a 2K counter, so we might be able to protect him this turn. I also think it would feel a little bad for Robin to attack into Luffy instead of going for life here, so perhaps they don up and then swing heavily, or they drop in an L on board. Okay, I like it. That Anel is kind of useless, honestly, because we can kill it, which is nice. And no, you can't have this. Sorry. Because now you can't swing. Yep. Okay. We get a guard point. I think we have to kill the Nico Robin, but that's fine. We can just be super aggressive here. We're on 3 life. I'm not really worried about it all too much. Guaranteed damage. Sure. I probably should have saved the Kid and Killer, but it's okay. We'll go 9 here. I'm making so many misplays, by the way. We should have saved the Kid and Killer. We shouldn't have dropped it on board just in case, you know, they have a trigger. And we should have swung with leader first prior to the Kid and Killer. I get it. It's fine. It happens. It is what it is. It might not be too big of a deal. Actually, let's go 7 lead instead of 8. That's a little weird, but we have the guard point. Yep. Maybe going 8K there would have just won the game. Who knows? But playing it slow is fine. Because they have, what, 5 attacks this turn if they want to don up X-Drake? Perhaps. Okay. Never mind. Yep. Yeah, they can go for game here. At least I probably would. 5 lead. What do we get? Okay, never mind. We got a Makino. Or Otama, sorry. 5. We'll guard this one. Actually, we can take this hit. I lied. We don't even need the Mogun. We don't even need it. Because we have the counter in hand without it. We guard point the Enel. Right? Yeah, we guard point the Enel. And then... No, we actually did need that. Yeah, low key. Yeah, we did need that. Well played. Thank you, Mogun. Appreciate it. Good game. See, I told you, Robin's pretty explosive if you're not ready for it. That's crazy. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I almost forgot to press the record button. Either way, Blackbeard went first. He activated leader skill. That way we couldn't play down, I guess, any of our searchers on board to search off. So, needless to say, that's been happening a lot. I've been running into a lot of Blackbeard players that have been doing that. Okay, sure. Interesting. Tell you what, let's go 6 to face. Let's be super aggressive here, go 6 to face. He already gave me a 2K counter and a Burgess, so I'm hoping. Never mind, we got it. So next turn, he'll probably clear Zoro, and we can drop down a 5-cost Luffy and go from there. Okay, he's going to try to clear Zoro. Never mind. We'll give you the Sanji. In hindsight, I should have gave him the Magura there instead. Because I think Sanji will give me a lot more value by being on board. Magra probably won't, just because the on play, you know? That means I need to have a Nami on board to activate it, or what have you. What did he just do? Okay, he finger gunned the Zoro. That was weird, but alright. I wonder why he didn't just play the Searcher down, do the search, and go 8k into Zoro, but okay. We'll take that. We'll 7 lead here. So that's 2 finger guns and trash and a Tempest Kick. We're going to go 7 again. Put your boy down to 1 life. Yes, sir. Pass it over. We already have the Diable in hand. We have another Luffy and or Killer that we need to play for next turn. If he drops a blocker here, we have a way... Never mind. That's a Laboon. -4. Pops with Doc. No problem. He searches, finds a 2k... Or sorry, a 2-cost blocker, right? Ideally. I believe in you. No. Okay. Plays 1 from hand. Because if not, you're in trouble. Okay. We'll take that. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So we can do Kid and Killer on board. I know this is weird, but this should be able to allow us to win game. This is 9. This will put him on 0. Nice. Now, no matter what happens, if he guards out for this one, we have Diable Jambe to go for game for the next turn. And that might have been the fastest Blackbeard game that we've ever done. So I decided to find another one, you know, just to maybe make up for it. And then after this, we'll probably do maybe 1 more game, give or take. Maybe 1 more. We'll see. It's so hard to tell sometimes with these aggro matchups. They go super duper fast, and I can just slap in as many games as I want to. But then occasionally, some of the games go too quick, and they don't make for content. Like sometimes, again, like that Blackbeard matchup, when I'm playing against like Smoker and like Law, for instance, we get so many bodies on board that they just can't get a foothold in, and the games don't last that long. And Blackbeard as well, of course. So there's been a lot of matchups like that, and it's very hard to justify putting them in a video. So Blackbeard, on the other hand, at least the previous game, a lot of the times your matchups kind of do go like that. Unless they are just super lucky and they get like 4 searches off in a turn and they get all the pieces they need. That does happen occasionally, but I feel like the matches I lose with Zoro into Blackbeard is when I don't have Diable Jambe. But 9 out of 10 I can kind of get there prior to needing it. It's just getting the card sometimes, and then we lose because we don't have it. So anyway, let's go 6 here. And then we'll drop down Sanji on board. If he can stay on board, next turn, it could be an 8k swing. Ideally. If not, we can drop down Zoro, swing in with Zoro and Nami, at the very least. Unless we get Luffy. Sure. Can I get lucky? Nope, I can't get lucky. So now we have Magra here. Alright, so Sanji's gone. That's fair. Unfortunate, but that's fair. The one time where they don't activate leader skill, in which would be a good idea to do that. Cool. We'll pop the Searcher as well. He gonna learn today, that's for sure. We'll go 6 here. That was pretty good. Let me get that 2k counter. He's thinking extra hard right now. Okay, 1 2k. Try again. Thank you. We'll drop another Sanji on board and pass it over. I know playing the Sanji here might be a little greedy, but again, if we can stick it, I'm all for it. Because Sanji really helps us sometimes get Teach down to 0 life in the early game, especially if he doesn't remove it. And he needs to have either the sword guy on board, which he does now, right? Or he needs to have other forms of removal. And in the early game, that's kind of hard to justify an augur on board just to play augur and then a doctor just to pop the Sanji. So he throws away Burgess for a search, which is interesting. I know he can play Kuzan later and just get it back, but still. Alright, so he got it. Is that the... I think that's just the 2K counter, right? Yeah, okay, cool. We're chilling, we're chilling. Sanji might survive here. Nami is for sure dead. 6 Dawn left. I think... Oh, never mind. Liberation. There goes Sanji again. You know what? I'll take that, though. Definitely worth it in my part. Throws away the 2K counter to turn off our on plays. Alright. Clears the Nami. Sure. 7 lead, maybe? Yep. That is fine. We get a Brook, which is really good. Unfortunately, we did not find Luffy. So this might be a tough one here. So let's... He's got 4 in hand. Okay. Let's play down Brook. And then give us the rest of Dawn, which is fine. Then we can start smacking other things here this turn. Chipping away at 5 isn't too bad. Because we can do Brook into Zoro. Oh, snap. Never mind, that's my fault. Misplays happen. I forgot about he actually used the leader skill that time. That's my bad. Oh well. It be what it be. We'll go 6 here. That's my bad. At least we have another body on board for next turn, alright? It's fine. He did throw away a 2K counter earlier, so he might have to take this hit. Yes, take it. Go down the 2. Do me a favor. Nope, okay, never mind. It's another 2K. Now he'll go down to 2 life. Actually, let's clear this. Or at least try to clear this. Ooh, wow. Alright. Unfortunately, though, Zoro will not live this turn. He's got 4 in hands. 1, 2... Okay. Only 3 2Ks in trash. Or sorry, 4 2Ks in trash. So that means he has 4 left. There's an augur. He throws that away for stage. He is at 8 Dawn here, so this potentially could be a Kuzan play to get the Burgess back and, you know, just to start going for later. He does have enough trash for Burgess to be a 7K body. Yep. Oh, I guess he found, he found one off the stage. There's another Kuzan. Or there is the Kuzan. Probably the sword guy, maybe. The pop the Brook, if I had to guess. What do you take? He got that from the stage. Yeah, he got that off the Kuzan. That sucks. Yeah, Brook's gone. He goes 8K into Zoro, probably. Yep. Blackbeard is so fun, isn't he? Goodness. Throws away Burgess again for leader skill. Which I guess right there was a really good time to do it, because we have the Magra here. They start pumping up the characters and attacking. Slap down Zoro. We'll do the thing. We need to get this man down to 1 life. Because I think Teach is going to come down next turn, and we're probably cooked at that point. So we'll poke for 5. I, of course, should have already smacked with 5 first, before we played Zoro here. Guys, Burgess. We'll do the same thing. We'll go 6. Did he find a 2K counter? He did. Okay. I guess the only other thing that we can do is swing 7 here. Playing Magra doesn't really help us. Okay. So he's at 10. He clears 2 characters on board. Trashes stage, 4 stage. Because he can run the... I think he has to go 5 into the Magra first, and then 5 into Nico Robin, drop the 10 cost Teach to freeze the 3 cost Zoro on board. That would be ideal. But let's see if he has a 10 cost Teach here. Because I don't remember if he searched one out earlier. If he did, I forgot. So, but I was pretty sure he had one in hand. Alright, gets a Kuzan. Okay. Turns off leader skill. Or sorry, uses leader skill. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I mean, he did the thing. That's fine. That's what you were supposed to do. Because Zoro can't swing. Yep. Clears board. And now we need to see... Oh, wait. No. We can actually counter this one. Yeah, we can counter this one here. And I think this will probably get us the game. Because we have Kid and Killer in hand. It might get us the game. Might is a strong word, but it might get us there. Okay. Alright. Alright, hold up. Let me cook. We need to swing with Robin here. And he has to take the hit. Right? Or... Yeah, we have to swing with Robin first, because if we swing with our leader, and he lets it go, he loses. So he's going to have to guard here. I think. Is that math? 6, 6, 4... I think that's good, because this will swing for 8k. I think we need to have one more Dawn for our leader here, realistically. So let's go 6 lead. Ooh. He either didn't have any counter, or he just decided to take the hit. Because if he decided to take the hit, he loses the game. So I'm going to assume he didn't have any counter in hand. And if that's the case... maybe blocking was the better play. Because now, we get to go 9 to face, and then he has to guard. Yes, sir. And then 7 for lead. And a good game. Ooh, I was right. Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into our last matchup for the day. And then we'll dive back into the deck list as we typically do here. We'll go over it, some changes and stuff that I might be adjusting before we go off the regionals. And we'll go over Zoro as well. But there's also a couple other things I want to talk to you guys very, very quickly. Be on the lookout for future content after regionals, because there's going to be some things I want to talk to you guys about and add to the channel here when it comes to YouTube. Let alone, I've had a lot of people reach out to me in the Discord and suggest me to do certain things. And I think some of the ideas you guys have mentioned have been very, very interesting. We have like viewer games, not viewer games, but viewer deck lists that have been suggested to me, like to try out and all that sort of thing. So I think I want to go over a lot of stuff in the upcoming video here and see what other things we can add to the channel that you guys would be interested in, you know, participating in, i.e. or watching, all that sort of thing. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming here very, very soon, so I do hope you guys stay tuned for it. Either way, if you guys are going to regionals, best of luck to you. I'll see you guys there. If not, I will see you guys at the local scene, of course, after regionals are over. Let's go ahead and dive into this matchup here with Zoro into Smoker, which, those of you that know, it's not that difficult. to be fair. And you should be running into a lot of Zoro players, or sorry, a lot of Smoker players at these upcoming events as well. And I feel like this matchup for Zoro is kind of just, he's very good for him. We just have to play around the 8-cost Eustace kit. You know, we need to have the mole gun ready to go. And a lot of times we can kind of swarm the board very, very quickly. And your opponent can't even get to that point where it's safe enough to be able to drop the Eustace kit on board without having a way of removing our board prior to this. I think most smokers are probably have a lot of practice into the Zoo Zoros. Whereas the other Zoro lists, like what we're playing today, can throw off a lot of people because they are definitely not prepared for it. I think Zoo is a little bit more popular. Both decks work. Both decks are very consistent. I just think people are on Zoo more so than they're on a different variant of Zoro. But I think the different variants of Zoro are also very, very aggressive. It can still work out just fine. Like in this situation here, we already have Nami on board, right? And Nami enables us to swing for 7k every turn for free, just by giving us Rested Dawn, which is nice. And then next turn, we can drop down Luffy. Luffy can swing for 7, and then we can attach Dawn to Nami that's rested using our Nami effect, which is kind of nice. And if we want to go even harder, we can play down Magra here and give Nami a boost, and we can go into face as well. But I think we want to clear the Monet as quickly as possible. Sounds a little weird, but Monet is kind of strong. Being able to give Rested Dawn to leader as well is pretty good. And I do like the blocker here. Baccarat is also really good here in this deck list. It's kind of nice to see it, to be fair. So we'll start off by going 7 to face, right? We'll attach the Dawn, we'll do the thing. I would assume Smoker uses the blocker skill. Yep, so they'll trash the mole gun. They'll gain 2,000 power. And they also give me a 2k. You'd love to see it. So that kind of tells me their hand might be a little bit bricked up here. Which, hey yo, I'll take that. That's fine. So then, we give her the Rested Dawn. If we go face, maybe Smoker is obligated to take the damage. Instead, let's go 5 into this. We don't even have to play Magra on board. We can save that for later. If he decides to counter out here, that's okay. Another 2k. Let's go poke this again for 7. This will get the Monet or the blocker. I don't know why I blanked on her name there. A little crazy. Anyway, 6 Dawn open, or 7 Dawn up. This would be Hody, Cavendish, or Smoker play here, probably. They didn't have Smoker or Cavi on curve, which is interesting. Maybe they needed to protect themselves from my board first, but there was a Smoker, which we cannot touch. We do have Mole Gun, but we need to have an Otama, Luffy, and or Zoro on board before we can pop it. Because Smoker will be a 8k on my turn. Whereas the Cavendish, for example, would be a 7, and then we can actually use Mole Gun to get rid of it. Smoker, we cannot. Which makes this card a little bit troubling. So, yep. You go 7 to face, I assume. Yeah, that clears the Nami. That's fine. You got it, buddy. And then we still get to keep our Nami on board, which is really good. Ooh, we'll save that for later. Alright, so we have to clear that Monet. Ooh, we got another Nami. Actually, yeah, this is pretty good. Because we can drop Zoro, we can drop Nami here as well. This will give Rested Dawn to my character. And we'll do the same thing here. I cannot pop this Smoker as much as I want to. I could potentially kill the Monet here, but that seems a little bit invaluable to play a 4 cost to kill the Monet, you know? So instead, I think it's better for us to drop the Nami and then save a guard point. Because I cannot clear the Smoker no matter what here. Yeah, I guess that's the best play that we can do here, right? We keep the guard point. We have 5k counter in hand plus guard point, which is pretty huge. And now we just go attacking. I mean, what are they going to do here, realistically? We'll go face. Yep. No trigger. Cool. Face again. I think that was the correct play. Just because we have a decent amount of counter in hand with the guard point, I felt like we can be safe here. I mean, if they have the Hody Jones, they have the Hody Jones, right? They play the Hody, they rest the Dawn, and they rest one of the Namis on board. Great. Cool. You got me. But I think we'd be okay even if they did have Hody here. Nope. Where's the Beckman? Pops the Zoro. Sure. Because we would have to guard out the smoker hit, you know, with counter. They wouldn't have enough Dawn to swing with everything else on board. Outside of Hody and Monet. And then we have two Namis, Zoro, or one Nami, then the Zoro swing. So I think we can potentially go for game the following turn if they did have Hody here. One Dawn up. Gives rest of Dawn here. Sure. They still have to attach another Dawn though, because he still can't hit. And then he goes 6 with Smoker, 7 with Smoker, 5 here. That's fine. We get a Makino. Okay. Goes 6. No trigger. We get a Robin though. That's not bad. This one we have to guard, of course. We do the guard point. Alright. Let's see if we can get there. I mean, Nami Searcher does help out. There's a Luffy, boys. And we have just enough too. We drop the Luffy on board, we activate the Mole Gun, we pop the blocker, and then we have rested Dawn with Nami, rested Dawn with Nami. And we're chilling. Now we have to pop this first. So we'll do the thing. Actually, I don't really think it matters if we get rested on here yet or not. But we can just pop this first, right? Get rid of the blocker. See you later. Now, we can give 2 to Luffy and then 2 to Zoro. Yep. And then do the thing here as well. Because this will only swing for 7. They have 3 cards in hand. I know it's weird. But going 7 here might not be the play. Maybe it is the play. Let's just do this instead. Let's just make sure it's safe. Alright. Let's put him on 0. I'd assume. Yes. Just take the hit. Thank you. And then don't have enough counter for me, please. Let's go, boys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game of the day. Come at you guys with Zoro playing into Smoker here. A rematch. And then we'll dive into the deck list. We'll talk about it. We'll do some changes here and there. And then I'll see you guys in the next one, as we usually do. Either way, Virgo hits the board. Hopefully they don't find Smoker off curve. That would suck. I'm going to get Sanji. That Sanji card is very, very good, man. Very good. Cool. I'll take that. Because we already have 2 Mole Guns in hand. Which I feel like Mole Gun is just, like I mentioned, is a little bit lackluster in this matchup. Because it's not hitting the Smoker when I need it to hit the Smoker. I'm killing, sure, Cavendish. I can kill the Sanji. But the Smoker's a problem card. 5 lead, that's fine. We get the Nami here. Into Luffy, which is great. I guess we can play our own Sanji. And then keep the Buggy for this turn. Which isn't too bad, right? So let's go 5 lead. Hear me out. Just hear me out. We'll do that. We'll drop the Sanji and we'll drop the Nami here. Nice. Okay. I guess we're taking the guard point here. Unfortunately, Nami can't take the other Nami. It would be good, but if only. Now, the 1-cost Event Searcher can, so there's that. That's why I kind of splash a little bit 2 in the deck list. That way it can search everything else out that I need. It does help out occasionally. In any case, he is on 5. So I would hate to see Smoker here. Please don't do it to me. Let me go one more turn. And then you can do whatever you want. Just one more turn. Sanji. Okay. Alright. I don't know why they didn't attach Dawn to the other Sanji. That's weird. Okay, that's a lot of Sanjis there. But yeah, why didn't they attach Dawn to the other Sanji? Because then it would be 7k here instead. Because this way we can at least guard one of these hits. Doesn't matter really which one. Unfortunate. Actually, you know what? I'm feeling confident, alright? I am feeling confident with that board state. Let's take it. Okay, never mind. I'm not feeling confident anymore. That sucks. Okay. Let's do the thing. The predictable play. The Luffy hits the board. The question is it worth just going all face? I think so. I think so. We push this man down to 0 life as quickly as possible. We have 2 guard points in hand, 1 2k counter. I can only use 1 guard point next turn, so we are definitely going to have to clear a Sanji if possible here. Really? Well, that sucks. So we mulliganed our Sanji. Okay, so now I can't swing. That's awkward. If I run Buggy into Sanji, he just claps the Buggy back next turn. So we'll just go ahead and go 6 to 4. He let it go. Alright, we'll pass turn over here. This might feel a little weird, but I can't swing with Sanji. I could don up the Buggy and swing for 5. I could swing with this for no reason at all, and maybe he'll attack into it. That seems kind of like not something I want to do. So we'll just pass it over. If he doesn't have Hody, we're good. He is at 7 Dawn, though. If he has Hody, we're probably cooked. Because he drops Hody, goes 8k. 2 Dawn floating over from leader ability. Goes 7-7 with Sanji, 5 with lead. Well, let's hope he doesn't have it. My luck, he has it. Let's hope he doesn't have it. Okay, never mind. You're cool. Oh, he left the Dawn up, though. Your boy left the Dawn up. He's going to learn today. Perhaps he's going for board instead. Oh, he's going for face. Okay. Alright. I gotta be careful here, though. So there's an Otama. We have a Makino. 6 here. We can guard this one, right? And then... Okay, we guarded this one too. No problem. I don't know why he did that. 8 here. We guard point this. Yes, sir. 2 Dawn open. What is he floated? Why did he float 2 Dawn? Instead of going 5, 8, 7, 7. Okay, a blocker. My man's brave to think that we don't have Mulligan instead of going 5, 8, 7, 7. And regardless, we would have been fine because we would be at 0 life if he did go 5, 8, 7, 7, I think. In this situation, we just pop Rosinante, right? We pop this. That's dead. And then we do 7 lead. Go 7 here. And then we have... Okay. Come on. 5. Go 5 face. 6, 7. There's Monet. Six. And that's game. 6 here. He's got to take this one. Yep. No Mulligan, please. makes him a 6. Nice. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video, in which today we played around with Zoro, and unfortunately, the red meta rush is back. For a lot of people, they are absolutely hating life right now playing One Piece. For a lot of other people, they are very much enjoying it because it's no longer Doflamingo, it's no longer Rob Lucci, Black Yellow Luffy focused. The metagame is kind of wide open right now, and it's doing well, which Zoro really hasn't been a threat for a very long time. Now that he's back, whether or not you guys are running a build like this, or you guys are playing a Zoo variant of Zoro, there are many different ways this deck can be built, and I do hope you guys find a variant that works for you. And speaking of Zoo, this is my Zoo list, so leave your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments below. Let me know if I should try something else when it comes to Zoro here. I would love to hear your feedback. And speaking of which, this deck in itself, like I mentioned, can be built in numerous different ways. I've been playing around with a Whitebeard variant of Zoro as well. That, don't mind the jet pistol, this is just playtesting for now. Utilizing Marco. Marco in himself is very, very good. This allows you to pop down Rosinantes on board, which you typically will be running into when it comes to all forms of green decks. You also have the 4-cost Zoro, which on KO, it allows you to play down a Luffy, this Luffy, or Marco from hand for free, or any other character other than Zoro down from your hand for free, which is kind of nice. And at the end of the day, you give it 2 Dawn. It has Rush when it plays, which is really, really strong. Now, the downside to this is it's a little bit harder to utilize unless you're on 6 Dawn curve, because you can play Zoro down, you attach 2 Dawn, this swings for 7, then your leader will swing for 5, which is a little awkward, but he's kind of like a pseudo blocker that your opponent doesn't want to necessarily KO, because it forces them to have to deal with another character that you will be play down in its place. But hey, I digress. This is where Shanks is so strong right now, because they have cards like Beckman that can just trash this for free. So, unfortunately, he exists, but each their own. Now, when it comes to the current metagame and why we decided to run a list like this, I wanted to do something different instead of just running Zoro all the time, and I felt like this list is doing very, very well into the current meta. Now, a lot of people aren't going to be expecting a list like this. They're going to be expecting to run into Zoro, right? So they are going to be preparing to face that list. And when you sit across from somebody and you slap down a Magra to give a boost to Nami or Buggy, on top of having Nami on board to give more rest to Dawn, it's off-putting, and it's very aggressive, and I don't think a lot of people are ready for the older Zoro that we once had. But hey, he's still here, he's doing well, with some new additions with Sanji, the new Nami. But either way, this has been Pawseplays. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button so these videos can get floating around. Good luck at your upcoming regional events. I'll see you there and or at your next local scene. Stay safe out there. I'll see y'all later.